Today we're joined by Lotta Wibeck, Digitalization Program Lead at Skanska in Sweden. Lotta has worked at Skanska for over 10 years and has been a key driver for the organization's digital transformation. She works within Skanska's digital hub, which is looking to harness the power of data and technology to empower their project teams and revolutionize the way we work. At our Digital Twins conference in December, she'll be speaking on how to upskill and develop the workforce to gain maximum returns from your digital infrastructure, which is of course a vital topic of vital importance to us all. Lotta, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
It's good to hear from you. So obviously the conference is focusing on digital twins. So we're wondering if you can just give us a bit of an insight into how you see digital twins creating value at Skanska.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I will talk for a lot of my colleagues, of course, now when I'm kind of doing this. So me and my peers, we just see the digital twin as a very important part of the transformation that, as you all know probably, that our industry is kind of a bit late in this. But to stay relevant, we know that the digital twin is a vital part. So it's just kind of, it's just to do it. And it's nothing new for us, this really. It's just that you have a new word for something. If we think back when I have been working here, we have always been talking about having the right information when you need it, in the format that you need, and also in the kind of device that you like to have it in. And I think sometimes that we talk about the same thing still. So that is kind of, we know that this will create value for Skanska, but also that it's a lot of kind of basic stuff. Sometimes I can be like, we need to get the basics right first before we can kind of do twins for everybody. For some people, just to move from analog to digital is a big step. But what I also see that people really start to understand now is that all this technology, when we can automate a lot of stuff. In early days when we digitalized in Skanska, we were kind of having apps kind of collecting data. And I think all of us know that you can automate this collection of data in a so smart way nowadays. And it's quite nice for us to understand that a lot of our projects is already having all these technical things in machines, in material. When they come, they have kind of the technical device that we just can, bring the data in, because, as if the people is there, it can be a lot of mistakes and the human error. But to automate will be the construction's really big muscle, I think. Mm-hmm. But to be kind of a very fair, digital twin is just part of the new normal, and for us to stay relevant, we just need to kind of do that.
No, I think that's a very interesting point. I mean, with a lot of these advanced and innovative technologies, they're here to stay, and it's the companies that can harness them first and really understand them that they're going to get the most value in the long run.
Yep. And also we talk a lot about, of course, sustainability, mm-hmm. and try to kind of prove that you are there, because you cannot, imagine that you come with an Excel sheet and tell everybody we are very kind of, have all our data, but that will not be the future. The future is that you collect and prove, automatically. That is the data that you can trust. Mm-hmm. So I think it's kind of an ordinary, normal capability for us. Mm-hmm. And I think it's not in the future, it's kind of tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. No, that's very interesting. And with developing a digital twin, obviously you've already mentioned data, that's really the key part of it. And we see a lot of discussion around buy versus build. Obviously there's a lot of new skill sets, for example, like data science, that are needed for these kind of technologies. Can you give us an insight into Skanska's approach to digital twin development?
Yeah, and I think again that this is when you kind of bring different competences together, and also make sure that you also have the future people, the young people. This is about kind of collaborate between, nothing is wrong here. I think it's more wrong to kind of think that this is a software that somebody can give you. I think then you are totally, in our industry, that will not kind of be the thing. I'm already a bit irritated when I can read, as it was with the BIM thing, BIM software. For God's sake, BIM is kind of a thinking, it's a concept, and it's the same thing with the digital twin. It's not the software. If we think about the whole chain for the life cycle of a product, if it's a house or whatever, it's kind of so many different parts that need to be involved in this. So how can somebody think that they can kind of have the whole stack? And I think it's a lot of skill sets. You said some of them, but the really kind of what we all kill for in construction is the people that are both digital kind of and knowing our industry by their heart and kind of soul. And they are few, because it's a lot of office inventions. People sit in an office thinking what the construction site, for example, or our customer wants, instead of working together, knowing. Because for me, I think that is rubbish. You need to know. We don't have time for all this thinking. We need to know. And I think also a lot of people like to work and collaborate, and I think especially young people, perhaps the salary is not the thing. It's to be in a context where you grow, when you learn, when you kind of somebody listen to you. I think that's why collaboration is the way forward. And also I think business models is our main concern in the construction, because if I put together everything I need on a site, the price tag is, you can never pay that. So you need to have all these collaborating parties work together and also come up with the price tag for this. If we think about an industry who is low level, it's a lot of opportunity. It's a big, like in Sweden, say smorgasbord. It's just for them to kind of come in here, take your piece. But to be fair, a little startup to take the whole of Skanska's 2,200 projects, they cannot do that, because we need also to be able to scale up quite quickly what we bring together, a little bit piece of this digital twin that everybody talks about. Because again, what is a twin? Yeah, whoever you talk to, it will be different things, and we need to respect that for different people, different user, for different purpose. So it's a concept, it is a thinking. So that's really, and some of the things, perhaps I have some colleagues now, she's kind of but I need to kind of, I have been around for so long and working in both construction and the digital. So trust me, and I just say to people, I have never been wrong, so I will not be wrong in this either. That is good to be old.
You mentioned there obviously the importance of bringing especially younger people in who are digital native. But obviously, when you've got an organisation as big as Skanska, I mean, how do you look to upskill your workforce so they can work effectively with this new technology?
I think it's kind of and somebody will tell me you cannot, but I say this: my workforce is not my problem. It has never been my problem. The problem is that to make this work, it's a lot of parties involved. You have the government, you have the academical side, you have all these different technical people that are kind of a lot of the tech companies is not for construction, but we need them because of they have good stuff. And some of the tech company is really construction tech company, but you also have our customer. It's so much different kind of pieces that you need to upskill. And just to understand that in some country, we have our Norwegian colleagues, they have decided from the government that no paper on the sites. And that is a kind of a law. So nobody really is outside when you transform an old industry. Everybody needs to be involved. But what we do that I have started here in Sweden is next week we are doing a digital week for all small construction, related companies, because we have that kind of organization in Sweden. I think it's 3,600 small companies, because if you look at Skanska on the site, we are just 10 to 20%. The rest of them are others. So if we don't see everybody as a work skill, and you can just imagine that a lot of the old digital stuff, they are to put people out, to protect. And I have had a big journey internally to tell that when it comes to construct and do the product, they need to get the information they need. And you can also imagine that a lot of the small companies in Sweden just have the wrong device to look at the drawing digitally on the construction site. So it's a lot of kind of things that needs to kind of, everybody needs to shape up, everybody needs to understand. And you and I know, if we look at it, if you don't have a management that really, understand and also do choices, because our construction, it's a risk-based industry. So it's a lot about kind of, but I need to tell what is the risk to stand still and wait for this, because it will happen. As you said, the young people, the next generation for this, they don't understand paper and pen. They don't know. They are kind of brought into this. My granddaughter, she's 8 years old. She doesn't know anyway. So for me, it's about an industry that needs to move towards the change, not sitting on their hands and then complain later that you are not relevant anymore, because you need to move towards this transformation, and you need to take a stand. And the thing, when you take a stand and decide something, it's much easier to change a bit if you see so. But to not decide and to not take a stand, that is very, very, scary, and very, then you will end up having kind of, you get what you deserve because you didn't really act. So everybody needs to upskill, and for some people, it's just mindset. That is enough. They just need to think another way because they have that kind of role. But for some people, this will kind of break them from their safety, where they feel that they are experts and they know what they do, and they will feel kind of scared. So I would say that this is a human thing. Everything, the twin, the digital transformation, if you don't think that is people helping people, and that is what the Digital Week is all about. I have been collecting all the digital people to help the one who has not started, so they will kind of, because you cannot start with working with digital twins. It's just ridiculous. You need to start moving from paper. So and everybody needs to be on the same level in the end, because otherwise they are weak change, and nobody wants to be weak change. So that is really, to be fair, a lot of people, even though in your private life, you do your banking, you do your traveling, you do everything in your mobile phone. So in the end, how difficult can it be?
Exactly. I think it's an interesting point there. In our personal life, many of us have been there for years. So it's time for organizations to really grasp the change, move forward, understand there is going to be a shift in this paradigm, and see the value and really begin to move forward and accept it.
And we come back to what I said, when you and I started this with, it needs to be so easy. You need to do things in it, by your, not reading a lot of, and go to training. It needs to be so easy so you can just start. I think once you break that little hill, then you just want more. But it's, then we come to that every person needs to be treated his or her way. This is also something that is a learning from many years, that you can talk about rollout, you can talk about, different things, implementation, blah, blah, blah. But in the real, it's just, if the people don't use it, and if the people don't use it the way it is supposed to, the benefit or the return on investment will not happen. And also that, you know, people also just use a little piece of a big investment that also kind of just throw money out of the window. So it's a lot to do, but I think that's why I love it, and why you want to do. It's much fun to do things where you can make you can make a big difference.
No, definitely. And I think with these wider digital transformations, and especially this digital twin technology, there's so much potential. It'll be really interesting to see how it evolves. Well, thank you very much for joining us today anyway. And we're really looking forward to hearing more from you on the 9th and 10th of December at our Excellence in Developing and Managing Digital Twins conference. We'll be speaking obviously alongside some of your peers in other key industries. So thanks again for your time, and we hear from you in December.
Looking forward to that. See you all there.
Thank you.